Hi everyone, it's Nick. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, in this video, we are going to be talking about timeless home decor items to buy when you are sick of trends. So trends are fun. I think that trends, I just look at them as new ideas, right? Things that come into the world, people experimenting, trying different things. Some of these trends you want to partake in, some of these trends you want to wave to as they pass you by, and that is totally okay. But we're all kind of susceptible to trends, right? If you think you're above trends, cool. But most people were wearing bootcut jeans in 2006 and we were wearing skinny jeans in 2016 because they were trendy. And we sort of do take part in trends sometimes. But in this video, I thought, let's cut through all that for you page nonsense and get to those timeless items that are beautiful and gorgeous and might not always be super trendy in the moment, but are just always timeless, always gorgeous. They always look good. And these are the items that are probably worth investing in because these items are gonna stick with you for years and years and years to come. Okay, but before I get to those timeless items, let me thank today's sponsor, which is HelloFresh. HelloFresh is a meal kit service where every week they send you delicious recipes and all the different ingredients that you need to create wonderful meals at home. HelloFresh recipes are also really easy to understand and they give you a step-by-step instruction guide on how to make their meals. It's very beginner friendly, so if you are trying to reduce takeout, but maybe you're not that great of a cook yet and you don't exactly know where to start, HelloFresh makes it super easy. Now, if you do already love to cook like I do, then HelloFresh makes it easy to try new recipes when you maybe get into a bit of a rut and you make the same stuff over and over again. What I love about this is that you get exactly what you need in the box. So if there is maybe an obscure item in that recipe, you don't have to commit to buying a whole box that we all know is just gonna be sitting in your pantry for years to come. I made these fajita style beef bowls with basmati rice and lime crema for lunch today, and it was absolutely delish. So click the link in the description and use code NickLewis and you will get 65% off if you are in the US, but wherever you're watching from, you will also get a very special discount using my code, and the link is valid internationally, which is great. Okay, now let's get back to those timeless items when you are sick of trends. Okay, first up on my list is going to be beautiful hardcover coffee table books. I love books for a lot of reasons. I think that books, first of all, when you're styling, shelving, or like I have a bar cabinet back there, could be a media console, could be bookshelves, whatever. Books are really great because not only do they provide some color and an opportunity to provide some interest in your space, which I'll get to in a second, but they also really sort of add a nice solid base for you to add on decor. So you can use it to sort of generate some height in your decor, because sometimes I find that a lot of decor pieces and knickknacks and candles and things, they can feel really flat and really low. And oftentimes what's really good about styling shelves is sort of creating sort of different dimensions and different sort of some verticality in your styling. And books are a really great way to elevate and like literally elevate, not just like the fancy, designer way of saying like we're elevating this. No, I'm talking about physically elevating. I'm talking about actually building a platform that is going to sort of raise up and provide some verticality for some of your other decor. So that is really awesome about books. They're able to do that. They're really just kind of flat and stable, and you can really use it to sort of add some height to your styling, which I think is really great. The other thing I love about books is that it's a way to express your personality. So I'm not a massive fan of like the Tom Ford book or the Chanel book, just because it's so overplayed. And if you love Tom Ford and you've always loved Tom Ford, then go for it. But that book is a little done, and I think that there are so many other books that are out there that could show off your wonderful personality in a unique way. So let's say, you're really into, I don't know, photography, or you're into Star Wars, or you're into, I don't know, maybe you're one of those Disney people that are maybe a little bit odd, but maybe you're one of those Disney people. That's okay. I was gonna say no judgment, but a little bit of judgment, but you know what? We love Disney too. I'm just saying, like, maybe you're really into Disney or video games, or who knows what your hobbies are, soccer, football, I don't know. This is a great way for you to express your personality and express you and put that literally into your home in a really interesting way to show to your guests that you have these different interests, and it's a way to sort of reveal a little bit more of your personality, but it doesn't feel so on the nose as some sort of other decor sometimes can be, looking at you, word signs. So this is a really great way to show your personality and also maybe give something that your guests could interact with. Like, let's say you put these on a coffee table, they can flip through when they're at your place, or if you are trying to reduce your screen time, these are great to just flip through yourself if you have them on your coffee table and you have them handy, because I think we're all trying to reduce our screen time a little bit. And rather than just mindlessly scrolling on social media, it's nice to just have the physical presence of a book to flip through. So I obviously love interior design. I mean, that's like obvious. If I didn't like interior design, I probably wouldn't still be here making YouTube videos about it. So I love interior design books because I just think they're really awesome. My latest one that I love is West Coast North, which is fabulous. I just brought this on Amazon. It's got some great designers like Karen Bond and Kelly Deck and just people I really love and admire. And I love flipping through just to get inspiration that's not with a screen on Instagram, you know? So I think coffee table books, they're always timeless. They're always beautiful. There's a really great way to style with them, which I think is great, but they're also sort of interactive at the same time. And they're an opportunity to show off your hobbies and put a little bit more of your personality into your own home decor. So these are always gorgeous. Yes, there are some trendy ones like the Tom Ford that go in and out, but who cares what's the trendy when it comes to books, right? They've been around a long time. They're always looking good. Get some beautiful hardcover books that you can use to style in your space that really reflect you, and you will not regret it, and they will never go out of style because it's about you. You selected those books because they're your interests and your hobbies, and that's what's gonna make it truly timeless. Okay, next up on my list is going to be beautiful ceramics. I really do feel that investing in beautiful flatware and also just your mugs and your plates and also your servingware is just always a really good idea. This is something that I didn't do for a long time and I never truly loved them, but it's something that you use on a daily basis, so it is functional in that way, and it just always makes your food and your experience of living in your home just feel all that better when you take the time to invest in beautiful ceramics. Now, ceramics can also come in different bowls and different decorative pieces that you have in your home. So like I've got this beautiful vase slash vase, whatever you want to say, here from Fable, which I love. You guys know I love Fable. All my mugs and all my plates and everything is Fable now because I just love them. It's handcrafted, beautiful stoneware, and I absolutely love it. But these always look good. You know, the shapes can go in and out of style. Right now the blobs or the donut vase was super popular kind of last year, and it kind of still is, right? So you're seeing like the shapes and stuff, and different colors can go in and out of style. But to me, because they're handcrafted, because they're maybe a little bit imperfect, right? They just always have a timeless quality to them, and they never really look super trendy. You know, different colors can go in and out of style, but forget all that, right? It's really just about investing in really beautiful quality pieces. And these are pieces that you're going to enjoy every single day, and you never really get sick of them. And I really just love that. I think any time that you have natural materials and something that is really truly handcrafted and means something to you and is created beautifully with this wonderful intention from these people that make them, you know, I think that's always a good thing and something that never really feels super trendy and always feels like it's in style. And you know, I really love Fable, but there's lots of really wonderful small ceramicists as well. You can find somebody local. You can even do it yourself if you're brave. I'm not, because I screw everything up that I DIY, so I don't do that anymore. But you know, if you have some more talent than I do, then you just go to town. But you can find really wonderful people that are handcrafting some amazing things. So you know, get your vases, your vases, whatever, get your mugs, get your plates, get all that sort of stuff. I just think if you can afford it, and I do like that Fable's a little bit more affordable than some other guys that are out there, I'll be honest. But you know what? If you can find and you can afford some of these pieces, I really do think they're worth investing in because it's an everyday luxury that you're always going to enjoy. They never look super trendy because they're just gorgeous and beautiful and timeless, and they've been around for hundreds of years. People have been eating off plates for a very long time, and the really gorgeous ones will stand the test of time and will not look dated in the future. I promise you that. So invest in quality. You'll be glad you did. Okay, next up on my list is going to be a quality wool rug. So I love wool rugs for lots of reasons. First, let's break down. I say quality, I say wool, and I say rug. Let's break down. I do think that a rug is, and you know, I hesitate to use the word, but I think I will. It is an essential piece to a living room, especially if you have hard surfaces underneath. So if you have vinyl plank, if you've got engineered hardwood, if you've got hardwood floors, or you've got tile, I do think that having a rug is a near essential piece to that living room, just to give you something really soft and textural under the rest of your living room furniture. I think that a living room that is in a tile or in engineered wood or something, and it doesn't have a rug, to me, always looks incomplete. It always, pretty much always, is going to benefit from having a rug over top. Now, if you have carpet, that's gonna be a slightly different situation, but I would say if you have a hard surface, having a rug is always beautiful. So you're never gonna regret having a rug. Now, I think a wool rug is going to be, a quality wool rug especially, is going to be the most timeless, gorgeous option because it wears really well, it doesn't wear out, it's soft, you know, softer than say jute or sisal or something like that, but it's not gonna be as soft as say something like viscose or silk even. It sort of sits in the middle where it's soft enough that it's still gonna be beautiful and comfortable on your feet all day, but it's also gonna have some durability in there as well. So it's something that's gonna have some longevity and it's gonna really last for years to come. And it's just a timeless material that will always look good. So sometimes I think that maybe some rugs, you know, they might be heavily patterned or they might be a different material. They might not necessarily read as timeless, but a quality wool rug is always going to be beautiful. Now, I will also say that if it was me, and this is just me, in my style, I also think a neutral rug is going to be a little bit more timeless than some other colored or heavily patterned rugs would be. So if you were to say get something like a red sort of Persian rug, you know, if that's your style, I do think that that is a timeless option. It was beautiful thousands of years ago and it's beautiful today, right? I mean, I do think that that is a particularly gorgeous option. But if your style is still shifting and you're still sort of figuring yourself out, locking yourself into that more traditional pattern and in that, you know, really bold color choice like red is something that in 5 to 10 years you may choose to regret. Of course, if you're a traditional person and you just love that style and you've always wanted that style of rug, I do think it is a beautiful, gorgeous option that is timeless as well. But if you are still figuring out kind of what your style is, going with something a little bit more neutral is always beautiful. I will also say about rugs that if you ever get sick of that rug, because again, we're talking timeless here, if you do ever get sick of that rug, you can always repurpose, especially a neutral quality wool rug, into something like under a bed in a guest room or into a primary bedroom or something. Putting it in a bedroom or in another room in the house is always a good idea. So you will always find ways, even if you get sick of it in your living room, which I don't think you will, but even if you did, you can always repurpose it in other areas of your home. So buying a quality wool rug, especially in a neutral color or in a pattern or color that you really love, I think is always gorgeous, always timeless, and you will always find a use for it. So definitely invest in those gorgeous rugs. Okay, next up on my list is going to be vintage furniture and decor. This one feels like a layup for me. This one feels really easy because you know what? If you love it now and it's from, you know, 1950, or if it's from 1990s or whatever, and you still love it, if you love it and it's that old and it looks good now and it looked good then, it's still gonna look good in the future. You know, like I think that's a pretty safe bet. So anytime you see something that is vintage, anytime you see something that really is, that you are drawn to, that is quality, that still stands up all these years later. You know, I think vintage is typically described as something that's greater than 30 years old. So if you're buying something from the 1970s or the 60s or so, or the 50s, I mean, if you're buying stuff from back then and it still looks good, or even way back before that, like some traditional pieces, if it still looks good now and it looked good then, it's awesome. Like to me, this is just like an obvious one. Like this just feels beautiful and timeless. I know vintage and thrifted things are really trendy right now because again, like I said at the beginning of the video, like things come out and whatever, like trends come and go. But if it's beautiful and it's in your style and you love it now and it was beautiful then, it'll be beautiful 10 years from now. I think that is a super safe bet. So vintage thrifted pieces that are in your style that you love, gorgeous, those will stand the test of time. Those are timeless, and hold on to them. Okay, and next up, which is similar to thrifted and vintage, kind of, is items that have some sort of personal sentimental value to you. This is difficult for me to extrapolate and say what that means for you because I don't actually really know you, despite the fact that we sit and have little chitty chats here in my chair every Saturday morning. I don't actually really know you, so I don't know what those pieces are for you, but I can tell you one that is mine, and I'm not a sentimental person, like at all. Like, I'm, you know, if someone's like, hey, don't you love this? This was like your great Aunt Edna. I don't even have a great Aunt Edna, but let's pretend I did. This was great Aunt Edna's or whatever. I can't even say it. I'd be like, yeah, cool. Well, she's gone and that means something to her, but it means nothing to me. So I'm not really a big like sentimental guy, but I will say I have one piece that I really love, and that is that my grandfather actually rescued. I think I said he was a hoarder in a previous video, which is really accurate, to be honest. He found these, like, you know, the rolls that are on the back of the trolleys or the front of the trolleys back in like the day, I don't know what, pick your North American city where unfortunately we ripped out all those little trolley lines all over the place, which was a mistake, but whatever. You're not here for my urban design opinions. But anyway, you know those little trolleys, how they had at the front and they like said, the bus wraps kind of thing that they say now, like what's the next stop? So those used to be on paper rolls. Now they're all electronic screens, but back then they were paper rolls. And this was back in like, when did they rip this up? Like 1960 or something, probably here in Vancouver. He rescued one of these old rolls. So that sat in his basement for 40 years. And then he passed away and then my dad got it and then it sat in his basement for like 20 years. I don't know if my math's adding up, but anyway. And then I took it and I had it professionally framed, went out, had it done, and now it is beautiful. Now it's got some gorgeous Vancouver landmarks, and this is a super old piece that's been around for decades and decades and decades. And I now rescued it and put it up in my bedroom. I love this piece. I'm gonna hold on to this sucker for years. I'm never getting rid of it. Like, why would I get rid of it? It is beautiful, it's timeless. It reminds me of my grandfather and sort of my dad, even though he didn't do anything with it except shove it in his basement, but still reminds me of them. And I'm never gonna get rid of this because it means something to me. It means nothing to you, of course. Well, because, you know, you don't know it and you didn't know my grandpa, but you know, it means something to me. And whatever that is for you, find those items and hold on to them because they are timeless, they are beautiful. This defies trends. Do you know what I mean? Because this is deeply personal for people. And that's something that you hold on to and you never let go. And maybe pass on to your kids, assuming they care. And if you get one that's like me that doesn't, well then, I don't know what to tell you. Good luck. Okay, next up on my list that is a timeless home decor item that you should definitely invest in is going to be a beautiful, gorgeous wool throw. I think that blankets and wool throws, preferably not itchy, because if it's itchy, you're gonna get sick of it and you're gonna throw it out in like a week. So that's gonna end up on Facebook Marketplace. So non-itchy wool throws, beautiful. Throws are, they're just awesome. You can drape them over the side of an armchair. You could drape them over the side of maybe a dining chair, depending on the size of the throw. You can put them in a basket. I'll get to baskets in a second, right? You can use, they're functional. You can curl up under a blanket while you're sitting there watching a movie. Throws, blankets, they're awesome. They add a textural component to a space. Sometimes, you know, especially if your couch isn't doing you any favors, or maybe, you know, you lack some texture in your space and everything feels like you have really hard, flat surfaces and you're looking for opportunities to add some texture into your space, to give it sort of a little bit of that cozy feel. You can't go wrong with a throw, you know? Invest in beautiful wool throws. It's something that you will not regret. Again, you know, should you stick to something neutral, kind of like I was saying with the rug? Maybe, because then your styles can sort of ebb and flow and they can go whatever. You can be a, you know, big fan of blue and then maybe you're more into the earth tones 5 years later. I don't know. Maybe you got caught up in the mustard trend of 2 years ago. I don't know where you're at, but you know, go with something maybe that's a little bit more neutral if you're a little bit kind of scared that you might dip your toe into colors that you get sick of. But you know, overall, you're investing in quality, you're investing in a natural material. It's a functional piece that's gonna be in your home forever. Stick to a beautiful quality wool throw. You will not regret it. That is a solid pick in my eyes. And you know what? Trends come and go, but wool throws are here forever. Next up, timing of the wool throw. Let's talk about it. Baskets. I think, you know I love a wicker basket. Every time I do like a what's new at IKEA video, I'm always like, look, they have 5 new baskets and I recommend all of them. When I did my HomeSense video, I'm not a big HomeSense home goods guy. You guys know that. And I had a person reach out to me on Instagram and said, my husband bought me $200 in gift cards to Home Goods. What should I buy? And I told her to get 10 baskets. I love baskets because they're great. Timeless material, functional use, gonna sit in the corner, always gonna find a space for it. If they're small ones, you can use them to put little knickknacks, you can use them for organization. If they're big ones, you can throw that throw in there. You can use it for other storage items. Maybe you got kids, maybe, I don't know, maybe you have kids. Throw some toys in there, right? Maybe it's now a little toy basket, but it's cute and nice and not ugly like some of the other toy baskets that are out there. You know, I just think you can't really go wrong with a wicker basket. It's functional, you're always gonna have it. They never go out of style. You know, try them with different patterns if you'd like. You know, there's some really cool ones that are out there, different materials, right? There's seagrass, there's lots of different ones that are out there. But, you know, I just think a wicker basket, beautiful, timeless, gorgeous, always looks good. Definitely invest in some, especially probably one big one for your living room, because I just think that's always a great catch-all to keep you organized and take all your clutter and hide it all in one place. Great for hiding all your ugly stuff. We love that. Definitely a wicker basket. And by the way, they're like super cheap. Even if you do get one that's higher quality and a little bit more expensive, don't feel bad about it because you're probably gonna have it 5, 10, 15 years down the road, right? Okay, next up on my list is going to be plants. Plants, maybe they're in a wicker basket. Plants are always beautiful. I don't get caught up in the plant trends, right? We know the olive tree is really popular. What's the new plant? I don't even know or care anymore. They're always telling me what's the new plant. Is it a snake plant? Is it an olive tree? Is it a, what was the one, the fiddle leaf, right? Like, who knows what the new plant is and who really cares? Because plants are beautiful. They are the literal definition of timeless, in my opinion, because unlike natural materials, this is literally a natural thing. Bringing a living item into your home, you know, it brings life into your home, and that's always something that's going to look good. It looks good in all sorts of design styles. You know, make sure to water it, and just all you have to do is water them. That's all they really need, and maybe some sunlight. But buy an easy to care for plant, and because if you're like me and you kill everything, then you might want one that's easy to care for. And you know, stick it in a beautiful little basket or something like that. Find a little gorgeous spot for it. It'll always look good in your space. Invest in great plants. Water them, feed them maybe, I don't really know the rules, but you know, maintain them, keep them alive. Snake plants, by the way, you cannot kill a snake plant. I have not been able to kill a snake plant, and everything dies in my care. So that's a really great option for you. Don't get caught up in the trends. Find the ones that you really like and stick with them, water them, and you'll be fine. Invest in plants and you'll be glad you did. Okay, next up, God, I'm just piling through all these little hits. Don't you just love it? I think that unlacquered brass is gorgeous. Metals, let's talk about the metal trends. Yes, I know, we got the rose gold, and then we got the copper, and then we got the matte black, and what's gonna be the new trendy metal? Who really cares? I think people do think a lot. I think people think way too much about metal trends, to be honest. And metals are metals, and we need to just calm down with those. But I will say one metal rises above. I mean, chrome is pretty timeless, I'm not gonna lie, because chrome is just everywhere. But I think unlacquered brass, so I'm talking about brass that is going to patina, that is going to wear in. It's like a good quality leather, which I should have put on this list, but I didn't put leather, but leather is an honorable mention. Unlacquered brass wears in, it looks beautiful, it looks timeless, it is gorgeous when it is new, it is gorgeous when it's old, arguably gorgeouser when it is old, because it's got that beautiful patina. Whether you have it in a faucet, drawer pulls, or accessory pieces that you put in your home, you really can't go wrong. I love unlacquered brass. Yes, everybody's saying, when is brass gonna be over? Unlacquered brass is never going to be over. It may go out of style, it may go in style, who knows, who cares? Unlacquered brass though is beautiful, it is timeless, and I wouldn't hesitate to put it in. Don't get so caught up with the naysayers that are gonna tell you that brass is gonna be over any day now. They've been calling it for a decade. You cannot go wrong, in my opinion, with unlacquered brass. It always looks good, it works in a range of styles. If you're a traditional person, a farmhouse person, a transitional person, it's gonna look really aged and worn in and gorgeous. And if, you know what, if you're a contemporary person, a modern person like me, a Japandi person, then I still think that that little bit of age that's gonna come from that gorgeous warm metal, it's still gonna look gorgeous from now, a decade from now, I guarantee it. So that's it from me, you guys. I'm going to leave it there. That an exhaustive list. I mean, there's still more pieces, but you know, timeless pieces to me are natural materials, functional things that are in your own style, that mean something to you. Those are the pieces that are gonna last you for years to come. If you wanna see a video on timeless decor where I really tried to understand what is timeless to me, I'm gonna link that video over here. It's one of my favorite videos I think I've ever done. So go check that one out, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks a lot, bye.